So recently I moved from Android to iOS after a long time, and I'll talk about all the hassles that I had to go through during and after the transition. I'll talk about mostly the things that most Android users can relate to. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like this video guys. Let's begin. So the first problem is the transition itself. Apple does allow you to transfer using this Move to iOS application. You can transfer contacts, call logs, photos and videos and most of the stuff, but personally I had difficulty in moving some of the files, so I had to do it manually and it doesn't seem to work 100% perfect all the time. But the real problem is moving your WhatsApp data from Android to iOS. Now if you are searching to find a free solution, there is none, so don't waste your time. It will cost you at least anything around 1500 rupees, which is really expensive, but it does work and all the chats have been moved to the iOS, and I hope WhatsApp brings this feature officially as soon as possible. So now I want to talk about the software, some really annoying things about iOS that I felt as an Android user. So the first annoying thing is, if you go into the control center, you will not find the location toggle or the GPS toggle, as you can see. So the real problem is whenever I try to make a payment using GPay or PhonePe with Scan and Pay, as you can see at the crunch moment it will ask you to enable the GPS. That's because I usually turn this off. Most Android users don't turn the GPS on all the time. So you need to go into the settings all the way and just enable that to make the payment. All this should happen at the crunch time when there could be a lot of queue and whatnot. So I found this very inconvenient, and I do not really like keeping the GPS on all the time. So this has been a major annoyance, at least in my experience. Another annoying thing is, if you want to disable Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on an Android phone, you can easily disable these quick toggles and they completely shut off that particular hardware, as you can see in the settings, which we all know. But on iPhone it works slightly different. If you disable this in the control center, it will not completely turn off these hardware features. As you can see here, they are still on, draining the battery. Now Apple is not that stupid to implement it this way. They have a reason for this, that's being the continuity features or the Apple's ecosystem benefits. So if you have a MacBook or any other iDevice, you can enjoy all these features provided your iPhone always has the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi enabled. Personally, I enjoy these with my MacBook, so I have no complaints, but anyone who is using an iPhone as is, it makes no sense for them and it can easily drain the battery. So that could be an annoyance for some people. Another little issue is the one-hand usability on Android. The back gesture works from both ways. I mean, swipe from left or right. On iPhone it doesn't work from right to left swipe, as you can see. So one has to really reach out to the left corner, and that can be really irritating. And personally, I used the 13 Pro Max briefly, which is a big display, big phone, so it can be a pain in the neck on a daily basis. Another thing to consider is the refresh rate. Most Android users are accustomed to 90 to 120 Hz. So if you're coming from a high refresh rate phone to the 60 Hz iPhone, which is most of the iPhones these days, you may find it difficult to adjust. I mean, personally it took me about 15 days to get used to the 60 Hz. Now I have heard some people say iOS is so fluid, it doesn't matter, but believe me guys, fluidity has its own place, yes, no doubt, but higher refresh rate is something else and fluidity cannot really help with that. Now I must say the haptics are really good on the iPhone in certain UI interactions, but sadly this is not available on the keyboard. I mean, that's really a pity. I mean, you can install a third-party keyboard like Gboard, but what a pity that Apple did not enable this on the native keyboard. Talking about some hardware limitations, I love the fact that I can attach my hard drives to my Android phone and do backups and whatnot, but with iPhone I simply cannot do it, at least without having another dongle. And the same goes with the audio port. You need to buy the lightning adapter, so another set of investment that you need to make in order to make things functional. Now I'm not going to talk about all the obvious restrictions that come with iOS, like lack of customization or restriction of sharing content, etc., because most people are already aware of it. So I briefly shared my experience about this transition, which may resonate with a lot of people switching or planning to switch to iOS from Android. So if you found this video helpful, like this video guys, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.